Chapter 1. From the book, Who Does She Think She Is? The Heart-Centered Path to Professional Excellence, Beyond Competition, Leading Together. As a woman in the corporate world, I've often found myself more competitive than the average male alpha, and even more so than most women I've collaborated with, or at least that's how it's felt. Growing up as a young Latina in a small agricultural town in the Bay Area, California, I learned early on that survival required more than just resilience. It demanded a relentless drive and an attitude of overcoming the stigmas placed upon me by societal norms. Coming from a background of poverty as a child of Mexican immigrants, I knew I had nothing to lose because I quite literally had nothing to begin with. Of course, that shifted for me in my early 20s when I entered the corporate space after my military career. While working in corporate America, I looked around the corporate boardrooms. For the most part, I was the only woman. This sobering reality remains all too common, with women still making up only 29% of C-suite positions and mid-entry roles leading to C-suite roles. Even more startling, I was a rarity because women of color represent only 7% of these roles, while white women account for 22%. Unlike most, I realized I had an opportunity to change more than just my circumstances. By extending my hand to other women, I could help shift that statistic and pave the way for broader representation, proving that collaboration, not competition, is the key to rewriting the narrative for women in leadership. This revelation was the first step in transforming my path and the corporate landscape. One thing I learned early on, growing up in a Latino family, was that the ideologies people hold about how the world should work are very different from how the world actually works. In a Latino household, the cultural ideology centers on collaboration, not competition. It's the collective efforts of the family that keep everyone afloat in a country that systemically marginalizes Latinos. This is not the typical American way of life, where self-reliance and individualism are often celebrated. Many Americans are fond of saying, "Pull yourself up by your bootstraps." But that's a difficult task for those who don't even have boots, let alone shoes. For people like me and millions of other Americans, thriving in a society focused on productivity, where your work often equals your value, means relying on your community and embracing collaboration, not competition. These early lessons in the power of unity would later profoundly shape my approach to leadership. The competition ideology seemed foreign to me as a child. Being competitive was not something I was used to experiencing growing up. However, growing up in the United States taught me quickly that I had to be smarter, faster, and tougher than those who didn't share my background, and competition was a way of surviving and navigating the American ecosystems. This meant that pursuing a career in the arts or music wasn't realistic, and I was conditioned to believe I needed a real job. That belief was ingrained deeply in my youth, primarily because I was taught to compete for resources and the mere sake of competition as a revered American sport, not by my family, but by the American school system. We need to look no further than how we test and grade our children in our current school system. Competition as an ideology and capitalism as a fundamental idea are very American ways of navigating life. Often people confuse them to be the same, but they are quite different ways of operating in the world. But that's a story for another book. Suffice it to say, my upbringing instilled in me a unique perspective on the interplay between competition and collaboration, one that would later inform my leadership philosophy and ideology. So, what does all of this have to do with competition versus collaboration? The truth is that collaboration, not competition, is the key to lasting success both personally and professionally, especially in corporate spaces. The data is clear. Collaboration is more effective in driving profits, enhancing workplace morale, and delivering better outcomes for employees and shareholders. As someone who has fiercely competed in corporate America, I can confidently say that companies prioritizing collaboration over cutthroat competition consistently perform better. I know this to be true because, as a corporate executive in telecommunications for many years, hiring thousands of people, leading and training them, I saw firsthand how collaboration always prevailed. These experiences solidified my belief in the transformative power of collaborative leadership. Early in my corporate career, after serving in the United States Air Force, I worked for a prestigious marketing firm in Silicon Valley. There, I learned one of the most valuable business lessons. Working more hours doesn't necessarily translate into better results. It's often the opposite. The key lies in working smarter, not harder. This principle is why those who seem lazy are sometimes the smartest. They find efficient ways to achieve goals without burning themselves out. As a society, we often forget that humans are not machines, and that we can get more done through collaboration. You could say it's the lazy way of doing work, but data shows it is the most effective way of living, and nature self-validates this. We thrive in environments that nurture collaboration, creativity, and organic growth. This insight would become a cornerstone of my leadership approach, shaping how I built and managed teams. To add a broader perspective on competition, it's worth referencing Charles Darwin. Darwin is often misunderstood as promoting survival of the fittest in a purely competitive sense, but his observations were more nuanced. In The Descent of Man, Darwin states, "In the long history of humankind and animal kind too, those who learn to collaborate and improvise most effectively have prevailed." This quote highlights that collaboration, not just competition, is fundamental to survival and success. While competition has its place, Darwin recognized that cooperation is equally, if not more, crucial for thriving in complex environments. This insight aligns with reality in nature and business. Those who succeed long-term often learn how to work together, leverage collective strengths, and build alliances. This is why so many Latino families and others with similar cultural backgrounds can triumph and succeed in environments foreign to their customs. They rely on collaboration to help one another rise regardless of their circumstances and disadvantages. Darwin's observations resonated deeply with my experiences and bolstered my commitment to fostering collaborative environments. Alfie Kohn further supports this notion in his book, No Contest: The Case Against Competition. Kohn's research dismantles the myth that competition is inherently beneficial, showing that collaboration fosters stronger relationships, greater innovation, and better results in nearly every area of life. Kohn writes, "The assumption that competition is natural and desirable is so ingrained that we seldom stop questioning it. But the evidence shows that cooperation, not competition, leads to better outcomes." Kohn's work provided an evidence-based framework for the principles I had intuited throughout my life and career, reinforcing my dedication to collaboration as a leadership tool. Understanding the power of collaboration is essential in a world where women are often pitted against one another. True, the corporate world is still competitive by nature, but the real advantage for women lies in cohesion and mutual support. As we navigate our careers, we must strive to lift one another, knowing that our collective success far outweighs any individual victory. This is the ethos I aim to embody as I climb the corporate ladder, always seeking to empower and uplift my fellow women leaders. Looking back at my journey from a small agricultural town in California to navigating corporate boardrooms, I see the tension between competition and collaboration not as mutually exclusive forces, but as complementary dynamics. Growing up as a young Mexican-American girl, I believed in the American dream. I was taught that hard work, determination, and competition were the paths to success. By my teachers, not my parents. And to some extent, that's true. Competition has its place, but the truth is that it's collaboration that amplifies success. When women come together and share our experiences, knowledge, and support, we create a force that competition alone can't match. This is the power we must harness to transform the face of corporate leadership truly. Like many others who have risen above prejudice and poverty, my story proves that while competition drives individual progress, collaboration builds lasting change. In corporate spaces, where women often fight to be heard and seen, embracing harmony and mutual support is our most significant advantage. Yes, I'm competitive. But more than that, I believe in the power of sisterhood, and I've learned that success is far sweeter when shared. As women striving to leave their mark on the world, we must remember that while competition can fuel our ambition, collaboration propels us forward together. Through this lens, we can begin redefining leadership and reshaping corporate culture. In Who Does She Think She Is? The heart-centered path to professional excellence will continue to explore how embracing collaboration as a core value can unlock doors that competition alone cannot. By supporting each other, we not only enhance our success, but redefine what it means to lead in a world that often underestimates the power of unity and women uniting through female solidarity. For a long time, while I was still in the corporate space, working as an executive in sales and training hundreds of women and men, the undertone of "Who does she think she is?" was the background music. On many occasions, I felt that most women defaulted to this question and engaged with other women similarly. I hope to answer this question as we explore these chapters and topics together. Who do I think I am? The answer lies in the collective journey we will undertake as we challenge assumptions, share insights, and rewrite the rules of corporate leadership and how women interact in corporate spaces. 3 key takeaways for enhancing collaboration in the corporate setting. 1. Build trust by sharing knowledge and resources. In competitive environments, people often withhold information to gain an edge. Break this cycle by openly sharing knowledge and resources with your colleagues. Building trust through collaboration establishes a foundation of mutual support and creates an environment where everyone can succeed. This is the bedrock of a genuinely collaborative culture. 2. Mentorship and peer support networks. Create or join a mentorship program or peer support network where women can share insights, experiences, and strategies for navigating corporate challenges. Empowering others through mentorship strengthens the bonds of solidarity and ensures that collective wisdom is accessible to everyone. Lifting as we climb creates a rising tide that benefits us all. 3. Celebrate collective wins, not just individual achievements. Shift the focus from individual accomplishments to team successes. When you achieve a goal, highlight how collaboration made it possible. Recognize and celebrate the contributions of everyone involved, reinforcing the idea that working together is more powerful than competing against each other. By reframing success as a shared endeavor, we foster a culture of unity and mutual support. Yes, I know, depending on your industry. Of course. These actionable steps can transform corporate culture, fostering a work environment where collaboration truly outshines competition. As we embark on this journey together, let us remember that our strength lies in our ability to unite, empower one another, and lead with compassion and solidarity. Through this lens, we will redefine what it means to be a woman in the corporate world, and in doing so, create a brighter future for us all.